You ever have one of those mornings where you're just minding your own business heading to work like any other day, thinking about your first cup of coffee or maybe the million emails waiting for you, and suddenly you find yourself smack in the middle of a situation so ridiculous, so over the top you can barely believe it's real? Yeah, that was me. A normal Tuesday just trying to get upstairs, and the next thing I know, I'm surrounded by security guards because apparently pushing the wrong elevator button is now a federal crime. Welcome to corporate America, where logic takes a coffee break and never comes back. You ever meet one of those people who think they're the sheriff in town, only their badge is rhinestones and their weapon of choice is Comic Sans font stick around "You're gonna want to hear this"? So picture this, 800 a.m. The lobby's all shiny marble and floor-to-ceiling windows, people wandering in clutching their overpriced lattes, earbuds in minds anywhere but here. Me. I'm 6 months into this gig, settled into my routine, earbuds jammed in already on a work call about some brand presentation. There's comfort in routine, you know. The scent of burnt coffee, the little nod from the receptionist, the way the sun hits the lobby just so. And I don't even see the setup, the trap waiting right there by the elevators, a glitter-covered desk and a new sign fresh as wet paint, approved elevator access only, issued by K. Clark. In Comic Sans, of course, because nothing screams power trip like a bad font choice. Behind the desk sits Katie Clark. If you've never seen a human being channel both Stepford wife and mall cop energy at the same time, let me paint you a picture helmet. Hair sprayed solid since 1985, a smile sharp enough to cut glass, and a blazer that probably gave her static electricity superpowers. Excuse me. She chirps sweet as saccharin, but with that edge that makes your skin crawl. I don't believe you have authorization to use that elevator. Now I'm juggling my phone, half listening to a colleague drone on about slide decks, so I just nod and say, "Sorry, I'm Ethan Caldwell from Brand, just heading up to 15. Promise I'll be quick." In any rational world, that's the end of it. But Katie's smile just widens. She tells me the elevator's for senior leadership and approved personnel, only then gestures grandly at the main bank of elevators like she's Vanna White on Wheel of Misfortune. I'm running late still on my call, so I just swipe my badge and step into the elevator anyway, figuring I'll apologize later if anyone really cares. The doors close and I can practically hear her gasp like I just set off the building's nuclear self-destruct. What I didn't realize in that moment was that Katie wasn't just your run-of-the-mill administrative assistant. She was the self-appointed head of the Tenant Oversight Committee, which is as made up as it sounds, but comes with all the authority of a mall security guard and twice the attitude. Her real job? Regulate everyone else's existence, from parking spaces to potted plants. She had just decided I was public enemy number one. 15 minutes later, meeting done, I head back through the lobby and see her Katie huddled with Greg Sullivan, our head of security, who's a decent guy and definitely not paid enough to referee glitter desk drama. She's whispering, pointing at me, throwing around words like violation and report. Greg looks like a man who'd rather be anywhere else, but when he stops me, I know I'm about to get a full dose of corporate absurdity. "Mr. Caldwell, can I have a word?" he says loud enough for everyone in the lobby to hear. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like being pulled aside by security in front of half your coworkers, especially when Katie's standing behind her sparkly desk, beaming like she just won a Nobel Prize in nonsense. Turns out, according to her, I had aggressively pushed past her and threatened her authority. She wanted a full incident report, a meeting with HR, the whole 9 yards. Greg asked for my ID protocol, he says, but you can tell he hates every second of it. My heart's pounding, not from fear, but from humiliation. The public kind, the kind that makes you wish the floor would open up and swallow you. The worst part? The audience. You can see people you work with every day, staring, whispering. Diana from design looks genuinely shocked. And Katie, she's got this satisfied look on her face like she just caught a criminal mastermind. That should have been the end, a dumb story to laugh about over drinks. But Katie had bigger plans. By lunch, word had spread like wildfire. Diana finds me in the break room, tells me, "Ethan, you have no idea what you've walked into." She's been running this place like her own personal fiefdom for months. She has rules for everything: desk decor, parking, even how cold the lobby should be. People are legit afraid to sneeze wrong. Then she tells me Katie's already emailed HR, painting me as some kind of dangerous, disruptive presence, a threat to women, to workplace safety, to everything sacred in the land of beige cubicles. The next day, I get hauled into a meeting with Miranda from HR. If you've never been on the receiving end of HR speak, let me tell you, it's like being waterboarded with polite euphemisms. We take workplace safety very seriously. It's important to demonstrate respect. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there trying to explain that all I did was use the wrong elevator while talking about branding strategy. The verdict: suspended 1 week without pay pending investigation. Just like that. My records tainted, my promotion hopes torpedoed, and my reputation, poof, gone. Everyone's looking at me sideways now, as if I might go full Office Space at any minute. But here's where it goes from farce to full-blown thriller. My suspension week I could have spent licking my wounds, but instead I ended up knee-deep in office espionage with Diana and her little underground network of people who'd also had enough of Katie's reign of terror. Diana tells me Katie's running a security training seminar, and guess what? She's using my case as an example, slideshow edited footage, the works. Diana sneaks in records a bit, and what she shows me is wild security footage spliced and edited to make me look like a prowler, a creep, a threat. Different days, different clothes, all mashed together to make her story stick. The timestamp's off, the lighting's wrong, and Katie's using it as proof of my supposed misdeeds. Enter Greg, the security chief, who's been getting more and more uncomfortable with Katie's theatrics. Turns out he pulled the original security files and caught her red-handed. She'd been coming in after hours, requesting random clips and stitching them together into her own little horror movie starring yours truly. He's got the thumb drive, the access logs, the smoking gun. But he's scared Katie has connections, and if it looks like he's helping me, he's out. So we hatch a plan at Katie's next big training seminar with HR management, the whole circus in attendance. Diana gets me 5 minutes at the end. I walk in, plug in my laptop, and show the side-by-side her edited footage versus the originals. Dates don't match, outfits don't match, the whole thing's a fraud. Katie goes into meltdown mode, tries to double down, pulls up her files, but accidentally reveals her editing timeline with every splice and fake timestamp laid bare for all to see. Greg stands up and confirms everything. The room dead silent, jaws on the floor. Miranda from HR lifts my suspension on the spot. The property director fires Katie from the tenant committee and revokes her access. She starts screaming about conspiracies, blaming everyone, but the spell's broken. Nobody believes her anymore. But Katie, in true villain fashion, doesn't go quietly. She launches a campaign of anonymous emails, fake social media profiles, trying to smear me as some kind of deranged office stalker, even drags my family into it. But her technical skills don't match her ambition. Diana gets it to trace the emails, every single one sent from Katie's company laptop, her employee ID stamped right in the metadata. Law enforcement gets called in. Katie's charged with cyberstalking and computer fraud. The tenant committee is shut down for good, and management, for once, actually apologizes and offers me a promotion and a raise. 6 months later, the lobby's peaceful, no more glitter desks, no more crazy rules. People use the elevator without fear, the signs are normal. And every once in a while, I catch myself smiling as I step into that elevator, remembering how one ridiculous incident spiraled into the wildest, most satisfying workplace drama of my life. So what's the moral here? Bullies thrive on silence, on people being too polite or scared to push back. But sooner or later, someone stands up, sometimes the underdog with nothing to lose, and a couple of friends who know how to dig up the truth. If you've ever had a workplace Karen try to ruin your life, you know the feeling. Comment below with your own horror stories. Did justice get served? Or did chaos win the day? I want to hear it all. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: never underestimate the power of the truth. Or a really well-timed elevator ride.